the final play of the 1987 Liberty Bowl, and more than 53,000 fans are on their feet, anxiously awaiting the outcome of what has been a furiously fought battle. The tradition of Liberty Bowl competition is virtually unmatched, as 9 of the last 10 games have been decided by less than a touchdown, and this game is no exception. The Hogs of Arkansas and the Georgia Dogs have scratched and clawed their way to a 17-17 tie with only 5 seconds left on the clock, making this the first Liberty Bowl ever whose decision hangs on the very last play.
5 seconds to play. Lewis to snap. Boot sets it. Casey lets it fly. It is good.
It was an exciting climax to a week-long holiday celebration. A celebration of community spirit, athletic accomplishment, and American ideals. A celebration known as the 1987 Liberty Bowl Football Classic. The 1987 Liberty Bowl Classic is brought to you by the Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Memphis and by the Liberty Bowl Festival Association. The 29th Annual Liberty Bowl brought to the city of Memphis a classic confrontation between the Southeastern Conference Georgia Bulldogs and the Southwest Conference Arkansas Razorbacks. Both squads featured offensive and defensive attacks rooted in the run. In his 24th year as head coach at Georgia, Vince Dooley again fashioned a team which would lead the SEC in rushing offense for the 1987 season. Their attack is led by quarterback James Jackson and tailback Lars Tate. Although Jackson is not known for his arm, his feet have carried him to more than 4,700 career yards, good for 3rd place in Georgia's record book. Senior Lars Tate rushed for over 1,000 yards in 1987, averaging 5 yards per carry and 101 yards per game. All-American linebacker John Brantley, number 42, is the master of a junkyard dog defense which held opponents to under 130 rushing yards per game. Against Arkansas, the Dogs would be going up against one of the biggest offensive lines in college football. It is a wall put together by 4th-year Arkansas head coach Ken Hatfield. Averaging over 290 pounds per man, these Hogs provided the muscle in Hatfield's flexbone attack. The Razorbacks come at you with quarterback Greg Thomas and halfback James Rouse. Thomas, who suffered a chest injury in the Hogs season opener, will be at full strength and represents a serious running threat. Rouse, a junior, gained over 1,000 yards in 1987, many times by simply running over people rather than around them. Nose guard Tony Cherico anchors the Arkansas defense, a defense that has held opposing rushing attacks to less than 100 yards per game. With a national TV audience watching and the 2nd largest crowd in Liberty Bowl history enjoying the newly expanded stadium, the stage was set for the main event. It's the Hogs against the Dogs in Liberty Bowl 87. From the very start of this Liberty Bowl festival, every participant is treated to a taste of Tennessee hospitality. Early in the week, both schools meet at a riverboat party held at the historic Stroh's Brewery.
Welcome to the 1987 Liberty Bowl.
Officials, coaches, administrators, and guests relax while the Memphis community serves up its own brand of Southern charm and friendliness. It is an informal evening of good food and conversation, which sets the stage for one of the city's grandest affairs of the year, the Liberty Bowl Black Tie Dinner Dance. An atmosphere of elegance pervades this gala event, which this year carried the theme, We the People, honoring the 200th anniversary of our nation's Constitution. 1987 Liberty Bowl President Reggie Barnes helped welcome over 800 Memphians, who tonight would pay tribute to both this year's guests and to those who host this annual holiday extravaganza. The 29th annual Liberty Bowl Luncheon played host to over 2,300 people, giving them the opportunity to eat and talk with some of this year's players. It was here that the 1987 Liberty Bowl Distinguished Service Award was presented to Walter Byers, the Executive Director Emeritus of the National Collegiate Athletic Association.
I'm terribly flattered to receive this award, and I want to thank all those people responsible for that and try to impress upon you the gratitude I feel. You know, as I leave intercollegiate athletics after some 40 years association, I am more convinced today than I was when I started that intercollegiate athletics delivers on its promise and its commitment to its participants. I respect so much the players that are here today. They exemplify for me those who make a commitment, concentrate on it, and dedicate themselves to working to each other with a common goal. There is nothing more direct in the process in an undergraduate life than that. You exemplify what's best about America, and I respect you greatly for the commitment you made in the remarkably successful seasons that you've enjoyed. I salute you, and I appreciate a great deal having a chance to address some young people here today. And for the city of Memphis and the citizens here, I think you're to be so commended for keeping before the American public the best traditions and the best values of intercollegiate athletics and of this country itself. Thank you so much for the privilege of meeting with you and indulging me with these comments. Thank you.
Game day, and over 4,500 people jam into the Mid-South Coliseum for a pregame buffet. While fans enjoy a veritable feast of barbecued foods and salads, the two schools would compete in an inspiring battle of the bands. Spontaneous pep rally, Memphis' own Marguerite Piazza electrified the crowd with her performance of our national anthem. The crowd's excitement exploded into the nighttime air and rained down upon the field where the Liberty Bowl Football Classic kicked off for the 29th year in a row. From the outset, it was destined to be a hard-hitting affair, with Georgia receiving the kickoff and setting up for their first possession of the game. Although much of Georgia's success in 1987 came on the ground, Vince Dooley's Bulldogs took to the air on their first drive, much to everyone's surprise. Everyone, that is, except Arkansas Razorbacks Otis Lloyd, who picked off James Jackson's second pass of the game. Most of the game's early going was dominated by the two teams' determined defenses. each squad denying the opposing offense enough ground to even garner a first down. Late in the first quarter, the Razorbacks were able to put together 33 yards in a row and scored first with a 43-yard Kendall Trainer field goal. The three-point kick brought the Arkansas fans to their feet and woke up what seemed to be a sleeping Bulldog offense. Starting on their own 24-yard line, James Jackson took the offensive reins into his own hands. Scrambling for 22 yards, Jackson then accounted for 35 more by completing 3 passes. 2 of them to number 9, junior split end John Thomas, who led all Bulldog receivers in 1987 with 25 receptions. Then on 3rd and goal from the 1-yard line, Lars Tate went airborne over the Razorback defense and came down with 6 points and the first Georgia lead of the game. Down 7-3 late in the first half, the Razorback fans looked to their own senior quarterback, Greg Thomas, to spark an offensive flame. The Hogs had been held to just 66 yards rushing when they opened up the skies with an Arkansas aerial attack. Rolling right to pass for the 4th consecutive play, Thomas found his receivers covered and cut back across the field and away from the Georgia defense, all the way down to the 17-yard line. With the clock winding down and the Hogs on a roll, Coach Hatfield sent in the next play. Left line 39, block 5, held the hopes and prayers of all the Arkansas faithful in the arena. And Greg Thomas carried those dreams into the end zone to put the Hogs back in front of the now bewildered Bulldogs. As the half ended, both teams headed to the locker room as the crowd settled back for another Liberty Bowl halftime spectacular. This year celebrating our Constitution and starring Ray Stevens.
1987 marks a milestone in American history. The 200th anniversary of the Constitution of the United States of America. Our Constitution is the world's most significant statement of national pride and character, helping to ensure that we Americans, we the people, shall forever be guaranteed liberty and justice for all. So tonight we celebrate the people, the countless Americans who have dedicated their lives to the preservation of our spirit of freedom, a spirit born in the land where the echoes of the Liberty Bell could be heard clear and strong. America, a nation whose Constitution promised liberty and justice for all who would call this great land home.
Far, we've been traveling far, without a home, but not without a star. To be free, we huddle close and hang on to a dream. In the boats and in the planes, they're coming to America, never looking back again. They're coming to America home. Well, it seems so far away, and we're traveling light today. Freedom's light shining warm. Freedom's light shining warm. We're living in America. We're living in America. We're living in America. We're living in America today.
I've been working almost every day, trying to make a living the old-fashioned way. But I find it ain't just working hard. You gotta work a plan, you gotta work it smart. And I was born in the USA. I was born in the USA. Today, we're living in America. Today, born in the USA. We love the USA. Born in the USA. Today.
That new spirit of freedom, born right here in America, was stronger than any force mankind had ever known. But freedom is not without cost. This same Constitution, which guarantees the blessings of liberty, also challenges us to preserve and defend those freedoms. Ladies and gentlemen, please join us in saluting the countless Americans who have dedicated their lives to the common defense and the preservation of peace.
Is our guide, our fame, our glory too. To fight, to save, or fight and die. I'm Coast Guard, we are for you. Over hill, over dale, we have hit the dusty trail, and those caissons go rolling along. In and out, hear them shout, counter march and ride about, and those caissons go rolling along. There is high, high, he in the field artillery. Sound off your numbers loud and strong. Wherever you go, you will always know that those caissons go rolling along. Anchors away, my boys, anchors away. Farewell to college joys, we sail at break of day. Through our last night ashore, bring to the throne. Until we meet once more, here's wishing you a happy voyage home. Off we go into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. Here they come, zooming to meet our thunder. Atta boys, give it a gun. Down we dive, spouting our flame from under. Off on one hell of a course. We live in pain, from the ground in grace. Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. From the halls of Montezuma to the shores of Tripoli, we will fight our country's battles in the air, on land and sea. First to fight for right and freedom, and to keep our honor clean. We are proud to claim the title of United States Marines. America, America, we celebrate our song.
For heroes proved in liberating strife, who more than self their country loved, and mercy more than life. America, America, may God thy gold refine, till all success be known. next verse. You know this one. Come on. For spacious skies, for amber waves of grain, for purple mountains' majesty above the fruited plain. America, America, God shed His grace on thee, and crown thy good with brotherhood from sea to shining sea.
Once again, the Liberty Bowl had provided a show second to none in all of college football. And on this night, it would be followed by a second half of gridiron action as electrifying as the halftime program. The Hogs burst onto the field in the second half, holding onto the game's momentum and charging through the Bulldog defense. Halfback James Rouse plowed his way through gaping holes in the front line for gains of 19 and then 9 yards. Fullback Sammy Van Dyke broke loose for 12 more before the rampaging Razorbacks were stopped at the Georgia 27-yard line. Coach Hatfield was not about to let the game's momentum slip through his grasp, but was he prepared to ride it to an uncertain destination? 4th and 1. He would play for the first down. Greg Thomas looked over the Georgia defense and took a deep breath. He took the snap, faked to fullback Van Dyke, and then threw long to tight end Billy Winston at the 1-yard line. With the crowd still delirious, Thomas spun over the goal line. And less than 3.5 minutes into the third period, the Hogs were on top of the Dogs, 17-7. While the atmosphere on the Arkansas sideline was one of jubilation, there was a businesslike attitude surrounding the Georgia bench. The order here was to get the job done. With the Razorback defense keying on Lars Tate, Dooley opened up his attack, freeing quarterback James Jackson to either roll out and throw the ball, or if nothing was available, to drop back and improvise, something that this Bulldog is very good at. A reverse to flanker Cassius Osborne moved the drive into high gear. The red-hot Jackson again connected with John Thomas, his 7th catch of the game, setting up a 24-yard field goal by freshman place kicker John Casey. The three-pointer pulled the Bulldogs to within 7 points of Arkansas, and these junkyard dogs started to smell a comeback. On the Hogs' next possession, Thomas dropped back on 3rd down and threw into a pack of ball-hungry Bulldogs. The pigskin popped out of the crowd and was snatched up by Georgia cornerback Rusty Beasley. The turnover gave Georgia both the ball on the Arkansas 39-yard line and the opportunity to even the score at 17. For the senior Jackson, it was his chance to go out a winner. On 3rd and 8, Jackson scrambled down to the 30-yard line, coming up just short of a first down. It was 4th down and inches, and Dooley put the game squarely into the hands of his front line. They responded by simply burying the Razorbacks as fullback Hiawatha Berry charged through for the first down. Next, Lars Tate found a huge hole and galloped 15 yards downfield. There was simply no stopping this fired-up Georgia offensive line. 2 plays later, Jackson decided to take it in himself and simply followed center Todd Wheeler's block across the goal line and into the end zone. Casey converted the extra point to tie the game at 17. And the final minutes of this Liberty Bowl now turned into a seesaw battle of brilliant defense and broken opportunities. Arkansas would come right back on their next possession, driving 70 yards and eating up over 8.5 minutes of the clock to set up this 35-yard field goal attempt. With the ball now in Georgia's court, the Hogs' defense rose up to quickly shut down the attack, as James Jackson this time scrambled nowhere. With less than a minute now remaining, Arkansas was going for it all. Greg Thomas dropped back and this time hit a surprise Georgia linebacker right in the numbers. Terry Webster, number 60, could do nothing but watch as teammate Carver Rousseau caught the deflection and carried it all the way to the Arkansas 43. As the stadium erupted, the Georgia offense took the field, and the Dogs went right to work. With plenty of time to throw, Jackson found a target in tight end Troy Sadowski, who was brought down on the 23-yard line. Timeout was called, and the Bulldogs turned the game over to their freshman kicker. There were 5 seconds left in the season for these two teams, and there were 53,000 people about to witness Liberty Bowl history.
You always prepare yourself every game for this, and you prepare this in your mind, hours and hours. Finally paid off. Luckily, God willing, the ball went through.
It would be a kick long remembered by John Casey in a game not soon forgotten by any Bulldog fan. And it would be a week treasured by all those who took part in this year's Liberty Bowl. A time when Georgia and Arkansas, Tennessee, and indeed the entire country came together as we the people.
From the mountains to the prairies to the ocean's wide clear flow. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America, my home sweet home. God bless America.
The 1987 Liberty Bowl Classic has been brought to you by the Coca-Cola Bottling Company of Memphis and by the Liberty Bowl Festival Association.